Rapper Fat Joe is denying allegations brought forth by his former hype man in a multi-million-dollar lawsuit. After Terrence T.A. Dixon filed a complaint alleging that he witnessed the rapper groom, isolate, and sexually exploit minors while employed by his company, a lawyer for Fat Joe, whose real name is Joseph Antonio Cartagena, fired back.
We're talking about one of hip-hop's most respected veterans getting hit with allegations so shocking that I'm still trying to process this whole situation. This story involves Fat Joe. That's right, the Bronx legend himself. And trust me when I say this is unlike anything we've seen before in hip-hop. Moments ago, Fat Joe broke his silence on the most shocking lawsuit to hit hip-hop in 2025. That's right, y'all! On June 19, 2025, Grammy-nominated rapper Fat Joe was slammed with a devastating $20 million lawsuit that's so disturbing. The 157-page court document literally opens with a trigger warning. But hold up! This isn't just some random person trying to get a quick payday. This explosive lawsuit was filed by his own former hype man, Terrence T.A. Dixon. We're talking about a man who stood by Fat Joe's side for 16 long years, from 2006 to 2019. This man was literally Fat Joe's right-hand man, his lyricist, background vocalist, security team member, and creative collaborator on hits like Congratulations, Ice Cream, and Money Over Bitches. Alright y'all, be ready because what I'm about to break down is absolutely wild. According to this bombshell lawsuit filed in the U.S. District Court Southern District of New York, T.A. Dixon is hitting Fat Joe with accusations that would make your head spin. Coercive labor exploitation and financial fraud, sexual manipulation and trafficking, violent intimidation, and psychological coercion. Racketeering under the RICO Act, Trafficking Victims Protection Act violations. And most shocking of all, engaging in sexual acts with minors. Dixon is claiming that he personally witnessed Fat Joe engage in sexual relations with 3 underage girls. We're talking 15 and 16-year-olds. One allegedly a 16-year-old Dominican girl living in New York, and another a 15-year-old who wasn't even an American citizen. The lawsuit states that in exchange for cash, clothing, and payment of cell phone bills, these minors would allegedly perform sexual acts. Dixon claims Fat Joe flew at least one of these minors across state lines on multiple occasions. Y'all, that's federal trafficking territory right there. Now here's where this gets even more twisted. Dixon claims that during his 16-year tenure with Fat Joe, he himself was forced into what the lawsuit describes as humiliating situations. According to the court documents, Dixon alleges he was coerced into more than 4,000, let me repeat that, more than 4,000 sexual acts just to maintain his position within what the lawsuit calls Fat Joe's criminal enterprise. The lawsuit goes into graphic detail about how Dixon was allegedly forced to perform sex acts under duress and surveillance, accompanied by threats of abandonment in foreign countries if he refused compliance. Dixon claims he faced sexual coercion, psychological control, forced exhibitionism, and surveillance-based humiliation, being compelled to perform sexual acts while being observed, filmed, or directed by Fat Joe in the presence of others. According to Dixon, these alleged abuses were integral to what he calls the enterprise culture of dominance and humiliation that was enforced by Fat Joe's associates, including people referred to as Pistol Pete and others. Dixon alleges all of this happened under the watch of corporate security staff, surveillance cameras, and Fat Joe's management entourage. Now y'all, let me tell you about the legal heavyweight representing Dixon. T.A. Dixon is being represented by attorney Tyrone Blackburn, the same attorney who's going after Sean Diddy Combs in that massive federal case. This is the same lawyer who filed the explosive lawsuit on behalf of Diddy accuser Lil Rodney. And y'all remember when Homeland Security raided Diddy's mansions just 1 month after Blackburn filed that case. But here's what really caught my attention. Blackburn made a statement that has the internet going crazy. He said, Fat Joe is Sean Combs minus the tussie. I had to look this up. Tussie is apparently slang for pink cocaine. So basically, Blackburn is saying Fat Joe is just like Diddy but without the drug element. But Fat Joe and his legal team are not playing around. They brought in celebrity criminal attorney Joe Tacopina, the same lawyer who has represented former President Donald Trump. Tacopina released a statement that basically declared war, calling this lawsuit a blatant act of retaliation. Here's the plot twist. Fat Joe actually sued Dixon first. Back in April 2025, Fat Joe filed his own defamation lawsuit against Dixon and Blackburn, claiming they were running an extortion scheme. According to Fat Joe's team, this whole thing started when Dixon began posting shocking falsehoods on social media while making outrageous financial demands. Tacopina's statement was brutal. Law enforcement is aware of the extortionate demand at the heart of this scheme. The allegations against Mr. Cartagena are complete fabrications, lies intended to damage his reputation and force a settlement through public pressure. But Tyrone Blackburn isn't backing down. In a statement that sent shockwaves through the legal community, Blackburn said, "Fat Joe knows what he has done. My client was with him for nearly 20 years. My client does not do drugs, nor does he drink alcohol. His memory is perfect, and he has receipts. Y'all, when a lawyer says his client has receipts, that means they have evidence. Photos, videos, documents, text messages." Blackburn continued, "We have 3 additional pages of predicated acts which detail trafficking of another sort. Joe, Tacopina, should better advise his client to do the smart thing. That's basically lawyers speak for settle before we reveal worse stuff." This isn't the first time Fat Joe's name has been connected to serious allegations. Back in 2010, Fat Joe and his entourage were detained and questioned after a University of Wisconsin student reported an alleged sexual assault following a performance. At the time, Fat Joe's attorney called the woman a pretender groupie attempting to shake down the rapper, the exact same defense strategy being used now. But here's what's different. Dixon isn't some random fan. He was Fat Joe's employee for 16 years, there for Terror Squad's biggest hits, with insider knowledge of Fat Joe's private life and business operations. As of today, no court has made any rulings and no settlements have been reached. Here's the timeline. April 2025. Fat Joe sued Dixon for defamation and extortion. June 2025. Dixon fired back with this $20 million countersuit. Dixon and Blackburn have until June 23rd to respond to Fat Joe's original lawsuit, with a hearing scheduled for August 1st. We're about to enter the discovery phase where both sides must turn over documents, emails, text messages, and financial records. If Dixon really has receipts like his lawyer claims, we'll see them during discovery. Dixon is seeking over $2 million in unpaid wages plus additional damages totaling $20 million. Y'all, this case is part of a much bigger story unfolding in 2025. We're seeing a complete reckoning in the entertainment industry with explosive allegations against Shannon Sharpe, Smokey Robinson, Tyler Perry, and the ongoing Diddy situation. It seems like 2025 has become the year when victims feel empowered to come forward against powerful figures. But this pattern is also creating an environment where legitimate victims might be getting lumped in with people just trying to get a quick payday. Let's talk about business implications. Fat Joe has built a multimedia empire with his Star's talk show, Fat Joe Talks. He's signed to Rock Nation and has major brand partnerships. Look what happened to Shannon Sharpe when he got hit with allegations. Investors immediately started distancing themselves. This case is different for several reasons. First, we're dealing with someone inside Fat Joe's organization for 16 years. Second, Dixon's team is using federal racketeering laws, RICO, and trafficking statutes, the same charges that bring down organized crime families. Third, the lawsuit names other defendants, including Pistol Pete Torres, suggesting this alleged criminal enterprise involved multiple people. And fourth, we have the Diddy connection through Blackburn. This explosive case could destroy Fat Joe's 3-decade legacy. Whether Dixon's telling the truth or this is extortion, the hip-hop world is watching. What do you think? Let me know below, subscribe for updates, and I'll keep following this story.